first thing you do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website. Once you're on the website, you need to select math as your subject. This is a grade 7 maths lesson, and the name of the topic is data and graph. Data and graph. Okay, so let's look at the chapter number and the lesson number. The chapter number is 23 and the lesson number is 9. Chapter number 23, lesson number 9. Okay, and the name of the lesson is create. We'll see today how to create a histogram. Okay, let's go to grade 7 maths. Let's log in. Let's go to maths. Grade 7, chapter number 23, lesson number 9. And the first question we have is, the first question says, I'll just copy the first question. I'll draw the, see, we have incomplete bar graphs, okay? So I will draw the first question. We will try to draw the complete bar graph for the first question. This is our question number 1. Okay, let me just resize this. Okay. They're talking about, a construction company is talking about cracked window panes of shipments they received each day. This is the information that has been provided to us. It's showing us number of cracked window panes, and the number of shipments. The first value is always referred to the x-axis, and the second value is referred to the y-axis, which is referred to as frequency. Okay. So what we need to do is, between 1 and 19, there were 20 shipments, right? 20 to 39, there were 50 shipments. 40 to 59, there were 10 shipments, and so on. So what we need to do is, we need to draw a histogram for this particular given question, okay? So what we can do is, I'll just take the question, okay? Okay, just a moment, please. We are given an incomplete histogram and we need to complete this. Okay. So what is happening over here is, on the x-axis, we have the number of cracked window panes. On the y-axis, we have the number of shipments. This represents the frequency. Frequency means how many times it is repeated, right? So between 0 and 19, it was done how many times? 20 times. That means between 0 and 19, the height would be 20. So we make a bar. Histograms have bars on it, and the bars will have no gaps between them. Between 20 and 39, there were 50, right? Between 20 and 39, the height would be 50. Okay. Just a moment, I'll change this. Okay. The height would be 50. So similarly, 40 and 59, the height was 10. 40 and 59, the height was 10. 60 to 79, that the height was 40. Okay, this is 40 over here, between 60 and 79. So we need to complete the final diagram such that between 80 and 99 there were 50. That means between 88 and 99 there were 50. Agreed? So this is a histogram that has been completed by us. Okay, so there would be bars, and the bars means those vertical rectangular boxes will not have gaps between them in case of a histogram. Okay. So what we are doing is we are trying to complete the histograms. Okay. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let's look at another example. Okay. For the next question, the information is in question number 1. The information was given to us in form of a grid, right? This information was given to us in form of a grid. In question number 2, we do not have a grid. There's a difference between question 1 and question number 2. In question number 1, they refined the information for us. They were telling between 0 and 19, there were 20, 20 and 39, 50, 80 and 99, there were 50, right? They gave us the information. Over here, they have not given us the information. What we know is, we only know that these are the number of pepperonis per pizza. So what we can do is, the first thing we do is we see which value is the minimum. We know that 0 is the minimum. Let's look for the maximum value. The maximum value would be this, right? So what we can do is we have to go maximum till 24 or 25, right? So what we can do is we can make the gaps between, we can consider a gap. Okay. Before doing so, can we say X represents pepperoni per pizza? Per pizza, right? And this was the number, this was the frequency. So between 0 and 4, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, right? So we can say the frequency here is 3. For the next one, between 5 and 8, how many were there? 1, 2, right? The frequency was 2. Between 9 and 12, do we have 9? We do not have 9. Do we have 12? We do not have 12. Okay. The frequency would be 0. That means there were no pizzas which had between 9 and 12 pieces of pepperoni on it. Moving ahead, let's say if we had 12 to 16, how many were there between 12 and 16? 1, 2, right? There were only 2. Great. Between 16 and 20, 16 and 20, oh sorry, 17 and 20. We cannot take 16 because this would be 17 and this has to be 13, right? Between 13 and 16. Between 17 and 20, let's see how many were there between 17 and 20. Sorry, between 17 and 21, we only had 1. And for the last, between 21 and 24, how many were there? 21, 1, 2, and 3. Agreed. What we can do is we can count the total of the frequency. Add these numbers. 3 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 0 is 6. 8, 9, and 12. Right? There should be 12 values. We confirm over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Because there was a 0. Agreed? So there are 12 values. So now what we need to do is, once we need to draw the histogram, what we do is, the maximum value is 3. So what we do is we draw a horizontal axis and we draw a vertical axis. We need to label the vertical axis as the value of x. What was the value of x over here? Pepperoni per pizza, right? On the x-axis over here, we had the frequency. So we had the frequency to 0 to 4. Then we had 5 to 8. Then we had 9 to 12. Then we had 13 to 16. Then we had 17 to 20 and 20 to 20, 21 to 24, right? Let's take the maximum height. Height could be 1, height could be 2, height could be 3. Between 0 and 4, how many were there? Between 0 and 4, the height was 3. Agreed? Okay. For the next one, between 5 and 8, what was the height? Between 5 and 8, there were 2, right? 9 and 12, there was 0, right? Between 13 and 6, there were again 2. 13 and 16, there were again 2. Then 17 and 20 pepperonis per pizza. There was a single pizza which had pepperoni, 17 to 20 pepperonis, right? Great. And the last one is 21 to 24. That would be, and how many were there? There were 3. Okay, so we can draw it in this manner. Agreed. So, and late in the end, what we can do is, we prefer doing this. We make lines on the alternate. Lines, lines, no lines. 9 and 12 was empty. Then we make a lines over here just to show the difference between the bars. Okay. So from the given information, what we have done is we have created a histogram. Agreed. Let's move to the next question. The next question says we have the data given in a group form. That means we have the data in form of a grid which has the values of x and y, which has been processed for us. Okay, let me just copy it over here. If this was our question number 3, and this is the information that is being given to us. So let's see what can be done over here. They're asking us to complete the histogram, okay? So I'll copy the histogram and I'll try to remove some values from it. They've given us an incomplete. We'll try to draw it from the scratch, okay? This is given to us. And I would want to remove this information. And then we will try to plot this, okay? So what they're saying is, what we have over here is number of push-ups done. These are the number of push-ups done, which is represented on the x-axis, and how many people were there doing certain number of push-ups. This is on the y-axis. This is also known as the frequency axis. Frequency tells us how much something is being repeated, right? So between 0 and 9, between 0 and 9, there were 40 people. Between 0 and 9, there were 40 people. Okay. Between 10 and 19, between 10 and 19, there were 30 people. So we make between 10 and 19 would be 30 people. You just need to make the bars. Between 20 and 29, there were 20 people. 20 and 29, there were 20 people. Okay, because this value was 20, this is 10, this is 30, 40, and so on, right? Even 50 is not used for us, but they have given a 50, so we need not worry about it, okay? For the next one, it says between 30 and 39, there were 10. Between 30 and 39, there were 10 people, and between 40 and 49 there were 10 again. Okay, what we can do is we can draw bars on alternate, because when we are drawing a graph we only can use a single color. We have a pencil that has a single color, right? Grayish pencil. So in order to differentiate between the bars, what we can do is we can make these lines. We never shade in maths. This is the shading in maths. We do the shading of the alternates. Okay, so now we already have the histogram. Okay, let's look at another example. Any questions up till now? Do we have any questions? If there are any questions, kindly let me know so that we'll see what can be done. Okay, good. So for the next question, it says some information has been provided to us. What we need to do is we need to complete the histogram. Question number 4. Okay, this is our question number 4. It says Sheen counted the number of ducks at each pond in the city. Okay, so this information is showing us how many ducks are there. Great. We can say it's showing us the number of ducks. Just a moment, please. This data is presenting us with the number of ducks, whereas the histogram, we need to complete the histogram. Okay, so let's confirm. They are saying between 0 and 19. I'll draw the sorry. We'll try to draw the bar also so that we have the information. Okay, so on the horizontal axis, on the x-axis, it says number of ducks. On the vertical axis, it says number of ponds. You don't have to do this information. If the bar graph is drawn, incomplete bar graph is drawn for us, we do not have to find this. We are assuming the question that the bar graph is not there, and we'll try to put all the values in the bar graph. Okay, so the number of ducks, if the number of ducks were between 0 and 19. So let's see 0 and 19. 1, great. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Agreed. That means the height of the bar should, okay, let's do this further, then we'll see. Between 20 and 39. Between 20 and 39, there should be 2 only. Let's see. 1 and 2. Between 20 and 39, we only had 2. Agreed. Between 40 and 59, how much they should be? We can see from the graph, right? It's drawn for us. Part of the histogram is already drawn for us. Otherwise, we can go through the values. Between 40 and 59, 1 value, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? There would be 5 values. 60 and 79. And the last one we had was 80 and 99. Between 80 and 99, how much should be there? 1, 2, 3. Agreed. Then how many values are left over here? Single value that is left over here. Agreed? That means the height of the bar between 0 and 19 should be 5. Agreed? The height of the bar between 20 and 39 should be 2. The height between 40 and 59 should be 5 again, because there were 5 numbers, right? 80 and 99 was 3. What we are missing is
the bar between 60 and 79, and we found out that it only had a single value, 1. So we make a bar over here with the height 1. Agreed. And let's shade this with yellow. That means this is our given bar, and we have completed the histogram. Through this histogram, let's suppose this diagram, this was not given to us. Okay, I'll just remove this. If this was not given to us, we need to process the data. Okay, whenever the bar histogram is incomplete, histogram is not given to us, we need to process the information first. First, we need to assume certain ranges, and we need to find these values. If we find this value, then we can draw the histogram from the scratch, right? Or if some values are missing, we can simply put down that given value into the histogram. Okay, vice versa, it can be done. It can be it can be through this process. From the information, we make the grid, and from the grid, we make the histogram. And if an incomplete is given, we make it directly. Okay. Any questions up till now? Do we have? Okay. Let's have a look at a new question. The next question says, some information has been given to us. Let me just copy the information first, and then we'll see. For the next question, question number 5, they're saying some information has been provided to us. They are giving a bar graph already to us. I removed the bar graph. And let's say for question number 5, researchers are recorded the number of cows on each farm in a country, right? Complete the histogram. So we are looking at how many cows are there. So what is the minimum value of cows? We can say the minimum value was 2. See, if the bar is not given to us, this was 2, and the maximum value we can have is 21, right? So it's our choice how we divide the bar, right? We can do between, okay, we can take the heights of 3 as well. Let's suppose if I say we need the difference of 3, so I can say between 0 and 3, that would make a lot of bars. Between 4 and 7, between 8 and 10, between 11 and 13, 16, sorry, 14 and 16, between 17 and, since the largest number was 20, and 21 to 24, right? We can take this as the number of cows on the x-axis. This represents number of cows, agreed? And this would represent number of farms. So how many farms were there between which had 0 to 3 cows? One farm, agreed? There was a single farm that had between 0 and 3. How many farms had between 4 and 7? No, 0, 3, 4, 6. 1 second. Let me just confirm the numbers. Let's do the numbers again. I think one of the numbers we did, the gaps of 4, right? Let's redo. 0 to 3 is 3, right? 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 would be 3 numbers. Then we have 7, 8, and 9. We have 10, 11, 12. Agreed? We have 13, 14, 15. Okay. 16, 17, 18. We have 19, 20, and 21. Okay. So between 0 and 3, there was single farm. Between 4 and 6, we had 1, 2, 3. 3 farms, right? Between 7 and 9, we had 7, and 9, we had 3 farms. Agreed. Between 10 and 12, 10 and 12, we do not have any value that is between 10 and 12, right? So this stays as a 0. What about between 13 and 15? Let's see if we have a number between 13 and 15. Yes, we have one number, right? 16 and 18. 16 and 18, we had two possibilities. And between 18, 19 and 21, we still had two possibilities, right? So if we need to draw a histogram, what we do is we take the axis, vertical axis, it could be the maximum could be 3. And for the horizontal axis, how many bars do we need? We need 7 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 bars on the horizontal axis. The horizontal axis represents the number of cows, and this represents number of farms. So we could have 1, 2, and 3. We make an arrow. On the horizontal axis, we can say we can have between 0 and 3, 4 and 6, 7 and 9, 10 and 12. Agreed? This is between 13 and 15. Then we have 16 to 18. Then we have 19 to 21, right? So what should be the height of the bar between 0 and 3? Height of the bar should be 1. What should be the height of the bar between 4 and 6? The height of the bar between 4 and 6 farms should be, agreed, it should be 3. 7 and 9, they were still 3. Agreed. Between 10 and 12, there were none. There was 0, right? 13 and 15, there was 1. 13 and 15, there was single bar. Okay, and the next one was 16 and 18, there were 2 farms. So we make it at a height of 2. Okay. And for the last information, 19 to 21, it was still 2. Okay. So this information, this histograms shows us the values of the number of farms having certain number of cows on it, right? Agreed? And we do the shading. So we can say this is a histogram which we considered, it was our choice to consider the gaps, right? We were not defined how much gaps should be there on the horizontal axis. But what they have done in the question is they have done it this way. They took the gaps of 1 is to 5, 6 is to 10, 11 is to 15, 16 is to 20, and this gaps still the same, right? So how many numbers were there between 16 and 20? Let's have a look over here. 16 and 20, 1, 2, 3, right? 4. So there were 4 numbers between 16 and 20. All we need to do is, if we draw a bar having a height, having this height. Just a moment, please. Okay. If we would have taken different values for the axis, then our bar graph would have been this, histogram would have been this. This is still accurate. What they did was they took different. What the first diagram that we have drawn is we have considered the gaps ourselves, right? These values, these partitions were considered by us. We did not have any restriction. So if we did not have restriction, we can do it between 3 values Or if they're telling us that the cows have to be divided between 1 to 5 groupings of each, right? Then we follow 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, right? With restriction. Or if they give us an incomplete diagram, what we do is we simply count it from the information that's provided and we complete the graph. Then we do not have to do the first graph that we have made. They both are accurate, right? They both are representing the same information. The only difference is that the second part does not show us that there was no cow between 10 and 12, right? There was no farm which had between 10 and 12 cows on it, right? There were no farms which had 10 to 12 cows. It's more detailed. The smaller gaps you have, the more detail is being presented. But for this question, we just simply had to make the bar. Okay, let's have let's look at another example. Okay, what they are doing is they are giving us some information. Okay, and they're asking us to complete the graph. Okay, for question number 6, they're asking us to complete the histogram. If this is our question number 6, it says Ron decided to record the temperature every morning when he woke up, right? He took these temperature readings. Daily temperature readings were these. Okay, this information was given to us. Okay, let's confirm whether what they have done is correct or not, right? They are saying between 6 to they're saying between 6 to 10 degrees. The temperature was recorded only on 2 days. Let's see. 1 and 2, right? Is there any other value between 6 and 10? No. 16 and 20. Saying 16 and 20, there were only two possibilities over here. Agreed. And there was only one possibility between the temperature between 21 and 25. Agreed. So what we can say over here is the temperature in the range between 1 and 5. How many values did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means the height of the bar would be 5. There were 5 readings which gave a temperature between 1 degree and 5 degrees. Agreed? What about the second part? If we would say 11 to 15, 1 value, 2 value, 3 and 4. That means there were 4 readings between 11 to 15 degrees, right? 4 readings. The frequency of the reading is 4. That means we create a bar with a height that represents a 4. Okay, and we can complete the diagram saying this information. So now we can say the histogram has been completed for this given set of data. Okay, do we agree? Right now we are just trying to complete the histogram. We are not looking at the application of histogram. Okay, what information we can find through the histogram, we are not looking at that. That would be done later. We're just trying to create a histogram from the given information. Okay. Let's have a look at another example. Okay, for the next question, question number 7, they're saying that if this information was provided to us, okay, let's say, okay, Alana's PE class participated in a push-up competition, wrote down how many push-ups each person could do. Number of people doing number of push-ups, right? In this diagram, we are only missing one information. So we only go, if an incomplete histogram is given to us, we directly go for the information that we need to find. And what was that? 60 to 79. Let's see how many numbers are there between 60 to 79. 60 to 79. One value, Do we have more values? I can only find a single value, right? I cannot find any other value between 60 and 79, right? That means the height should be one only. Agreed? So we can say this is a single height over here. Agreed? The histogram has been completed. But let's suppose if something else was also missing. So if we say between 80 and 99 was missing as well. Let's suppose this was missing. So we look at the information. There should be five values, 80 and 99. 1, 2, 3, 80 and 99. We can say there were five values, right? So we make a bar that has a height of 5. Agreed? Depending on the information that we have been provided between 40 and 59, 40 and 59, 1, 2, and 3. That means the height would be 3. 20 and 39. 20 and 39 means 1, they're showing 0 to 9. Okay, 1 minute, please. 0, 19, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's easier to find the 4, and we are left with only one value in this range, right? So this information has been processed. These are the heights. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Let's try to complete the histogram. Okay, then after this, let's try doing some questions from the test as well. For question number 8, the information that has been provided to us says, just a moment please. Okay, if this says, this is the question number 8 that has been given to us, and what they're asking us is to complete the histogram, right? This is the easiest part of the information. Why? Because they have counted, they have found the frequency for us. We do not have to count the number of possibilities. They have made the grid already for us. All we need to do is put down this information. They're showing us the number of broken tiles and number of shipments. Let's confirm between 0 and 9, there were 10 shipments. Between 0 and 9, there were 10 shipments, right? 10 and 19, 2 shipments. 2 shipments, 4 shipments, 6 shipments. So what should be the last shipment? Between 40 and 49, there were just 2 shipments. So what we can say is between 40 and 49, there were just 2 shipments. And we just say this is the histogram. This is how we complete the histogram, right? There were 2 shipments over here. You don't have to write these numbers 10, 2, 4, 6, 2, right? I'm just writing these numbers to explain you that what is the height, right? I'm just writing these numbers to show you the frequency. Otherwise, you don't have to label them because this same information is already given to us in this grid, right? They've given us the information. We can always find the information from here. Let's try some questions from the quiz. Okay, let's go to the quiz. Let's start off with the test. Just a moment. I need to copy a question from there. Okay, just a moment. I need to go back. The question number 1 from the test. Okay, let's go to maths, grade 7. The chapters were, just a moment, 23/9, chapter number 23, lesson number 9. And let's look at the test. The first question for the test is, it takes a moment, please. Okay. If this information has been provided to us, a food magazine is publishing the restaurant ratings. Okay, they gave ratings to restaurants between this and this value. Okay, if this was given to us, okay, This is our question number 1 from, and they have given us two options for the histogram. They've drawn two histograms for us and they're asking us which histogram should be correct, option A or option B. Okay. If for this given question they are giving these two options as our answers. Okay. They're saying this is option number A, this is option number B. So which option should be correct? See, we follow the question. We say this height was 4, this was 1, this was 5, and this was 2. Can I say this is 4, 1, 5, and 2? Agreed. 4, 1, 5, and 2. Agreed. No changes in the given bars. Now what we need to see is between 6 and 10. How many values do we have between 6 and 10? 1, 2 values. Agreed. That means the frequency should be, the given frequency over should be, this was 2 and this was 3, right? And we only had two values between this range. So which option should be the answer? Option A or option B? Yes, thank you. Option A should be correct, but because option B is giving incorrect value over here. This is correct value. Okay. This is what we just need to do. If a histogram has been presented as an MCQ, we already have two options. We confirm the given values and we just find the missing value. Okay. So option number A was correct. Moving on to the next question. The next question says they are doing a research on the cows per farm. How many cows are there in each farm? Question number 2. Okay. Let's say this is our question number 2 from the quiz. And the answers given to us are, there are two options given to us. We select one from the given options. Just a moment, please. Okay. This information was given to us. Let's highlight this as option number A, option number B. What we can see over here is the height was 2, 5, 1, and 1. Can we see the height 2, 2, 5, 1, and 1? Agreed. 2, 5, 1, and 1. That means the given information has been copied exactly. What we need to see over here is between 16 and 20. Let's try to find the numbers between 16 and 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That means there were 4 numbers which were between 16 and 20. So what should be the height? What should be the height? Yes, this was 4. This height was 4. This was 3. And that's incorrect. This is correct height for us. We say option A is the correct answer. Agreed? Let's try one more example. Okay. For the next question, they are telling us, Sheen counted the number of ducks in each pond in different cities. Just a moment, please. Question number 3 from the test. Okay, this is our question number 3. Meanwhile, let's assess this information. What we are doing, number of ducks in different ponds, right? Let's see what information has been provided. Two options are given to us. We need to select the correct from the options. These are the two options given to us, option A and option B. So which should be correct? Let's see. What are we missing over here? We are missing some information, that is 60 to 79. Let's see how many values were there between 60 and 79. 60, 60, and 79, right? That means only one should be here, right? Over here, this height was 2, this height was 1. This is incorrect, right? That means option number B is the, thank you. Thank you for the answer. Okay. So we agree on this, right? Whenever a bar is missing, we'll try to find the values in that. We'll note down the values and that would be the height of the bar, right? And we can pick up the correct answer. Okay. Thank you so much for being there. Please do complete the remaining questions. And if you have any queries, you can always go through the lesson. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye. Thank you.